Liverpool have done it. Within hours of beating Arsenal in a huge fixture from an incredible Soboslai free kick, which puts them top of the league again, they then signed arguably the best striker in the world in Alexander Isak. Breaking the Premier League transfer record by around £20 million after they broke it just 2 months earlier, they have finally got it over the line. At the start of deadline day, Newcastle and Liverpool agreed on a fee for Isak, £130 million, the biggest transfer in recent memory that could propel them to the very top and dominate world football for years. However, there is one man in Liverpool who won't be happy with this, Hugo Ekitike. Slot seems to have a plan for them, but how will they work together? When Liverpool completed the capture of Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt in July 2025, it marked a major statement of intent. The €80 million deal with potential add-ons made him one of the club's most expensive signings ever. At just 23, Ekitike was heralded as a forward of immense promise, combining athleticism, sharp finishing, and instinctive movement, traits that had earned him a place in the Bundesliga team of the season after netting 15 goals in 33 league outings for Frankfurt. He wasted no time making an impression. In his debut, Liverpool's FA Community Shield clash against Crystal Palace, Ekitike scored within 4 minutes, announcing his arrival in emphatic fashion. It was the kind of goal supporters love, a sharp dart across the front post, followed by a first-time finish that left the keeper rooted. Although Liverpool eventually lost on penalties after a 2-2 draw, the sight of Ekitike celebrating with his new teammates suggested this was a signing that could ignite the fan base. His Premier League debut at Anfield confirmed it. In a lively 4-2 win over Bournemouth, he not only scored but also laid on an assist, underlining the variety in his attacking arsenal. His goal came from a classic striker's instinct, timing his run between defenders before finishing calmly beyond the goalkeeper. Later he showcased his vision and awareness, laying off a pass to Cody Gakpo who made no mistake. The Kop roared, not just for the goal, but for the sense that Ekitike already understood Liverpool's attacking DNA. Beyond the numbers, his overall play has surprised critics. Many expected a raw forward who might need months to settle into the Premier League's pace and physicality. Instead, Ekitike has looked fearless. His pressing has been tireless, unsettling Bournemouth's backline into mistakes, while his hold-up play allowed midfielders like Dominik Szoboszlai to push higher. Analysts praised the blend of flair and functionality. He worked relentlessly off the ball but still produced the moments of class that turn matches. The speed of his adaptation has been the biggest shock. Manager Arne Slot described him as sharper than expected, a sentiment echoed across pundit circles. Once considered Liverpool's fullback option, when the club were heavily linked with Alexander Isak, Ekitike has quickly turned that narrative on its head. He hasn't just filled a gap, he's elevated the attack with a freshness and unpredictability that even supporters hadn't dared to imagine. Already with 2 goals and 2 assists in his first competitive outings, Ekitike has demonstrated that he is not merely a prospect for the future, but a decisive player for the present. If these early performances are anything to go by, Liverpool may have unearthed a forward who could define their next era. Still, the arrival of Alexander Isak has immediately changed the dynamic. Liverpool confirmed the £130 million deal overnight, making him the club's record signing and the most expensive transfer in Premier League history. Isak arrives with a reputation as one of Europe's most complete strikers, powerful in the air, clinical in front of goal, and capable of leading the line on his own. His presence inevitably raises questions about how Arne Slot will balance his attack, and how much playing time Hugo Ekitike will retain. For Ekitike, the situation is bittersweet. His explosive start in the Community Shield and Premier League showed he can be a difference maker at Anfield, but Isak's arrival means competition will be fierce. Slot may look to rotate the pair, use Ekitike off the left to combine with Isak, or deploy him as an impact substitute to maintain energy late in games. Either way, his minutes are likely to be affected. Yet if his form continues, Liverpool may discover that rather than being overshadowed, Ekitike and Isak could form one of the most dangerous attacking partnerships in English football. The Alexander Isak transfer saga this summer was as dramatic as they come. Despite being under contract at Newcastle United until 2028, the 25-year-old striker remained conspicuously absent from the squad. He skipped pre-season tours and refused to train with the first team, instead continuing individual work, reportedly at Real Sociedad's facilities, making public his desire to leave. His actions signalled a clear intent, to force Newcastle's as well as Liverpool's hand. On social media, Isak didn't mince his words. He accused Newcastle of breaking promises and stated that the trust between player and club had irreparably broken down, adding that change is in the best interest of everyone. Newcastle swiftly denied any commitment had been made to facilitate his exit. Jamie Carragher recently expressed his view that Liverpool should not prioritise signing Swedish striker Alexander Isak, arguing that the club should focus their resources elsewhere. While acknowledging Isak's talent, Carragher suggested that the money would be better spent on reinforcing other areas of the squad, particularly the midfield and defence, which have shown vulnerabilities. Ekitike has potential similar to Isak, but could provide better value for money, allowing Liverpool to address their squad's more pressing needs. Carragher's stance reflects his belief that Liverpool's financial strategy should be based on pragmatic, balanced investment, rather than splashing out on a single forward, especially when other positions require more immediate attention. This approach would allow Liverpool to remain competitive in both the Premier League and European competitions. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe described the situation as a lose-lose standoff, acknowledging the disruption it caused but stopping short of closing the door on Isak's return, should the relationship be repaired. Meanwhile, pundits and even former professionals weighed in. Alan Shearer criticised the public nature of Isak's actions, pointing out that such gestures rarely benefit the player or club. The thinking only shifted when Newcastle secured replacements, signing Nick Voltemada from Stuttgart and Wissa from Brentford. That move loosened the club's stance and coincided with Liverpool increasing their offer to meet Newcastle's demands. In the final hours of the window, Liverpool agreed a British record fee, reportedly £125 million up front, rising to £130 million with add-ons, for Isak. The result was a seismic transfer, bringing to an end a fraying relationship and underscoring Liverpool's ambition, even amid controversy and high-stakes drama. Liverpool's £130 million signing of Alexander Isak has not only smashed their transfer record, but also reshaped the dynamics of their attack overnight. Coming just weeks after Hugo Ekitike's arrival from Eintracht Frankfurt, it raises one key tactical question. How do you fit two strikers into a side already blessed with depth in the forward areas? The short answer is that they can, and likely will, play together. Both Isak and Ekitike have experience operating off the left flank, but the natural fit is Isak as the central striker and Ekitike wide left. It's a system that gives Arne Slot a blend of physical presence, pace and technical finesse, but one that could have significant consequences for Cody Gakpo. Isak is tailor-made for the role through the middle. At Newcastle he thrived as number 9, combining aerial dominance with deceptive close control and the ability to drop deep and link play. His frame and finishing make him the ideal spearhead for Slot's 4-3-3 system. Unlike Darwin Núñez, whose chaotic style often stretched games, Isak provides a calmer reference point. He can pin centre-backs, create space for runners around him and, crucially, finish chances at a ruthless rate. By installing Isak centrally, Liverpool gain a reliable outlet who can both play on the shoulder of defenders and come short to knit attacks. His composure in tight areas should also help Liverpool against deep blocks, an area where they sometimes faltered last season. Ekitike's explosive start in red has already shown he is more than comfortable drifting wide. At Frankfurt, he frequently played from the left channel, cutting in onto his right foot or slipping clever passes into central runners. His goal in the Community Shield and both goal and assist against Bournemouth on the opening day of the Premier League highlighted his instinct for timing, movement and creativity. On the left of a front three, Ekitike can use his long stride and pressing intensity to trouble fullbacks. He naturally drifts inside, almost like an inverted forward, which dovetails well with Isak's presence in the middle. The Swede's tendency to occupy central defenders leaves space for Ekitike to attack the half spaces. Slot will encourage overlaps from Milos Kerkez to provide width, allowing Ekitike to remain closer to goal. The partnership has intriguing balance. Isak thrives on early balls into the box and can dominate aerially, while Ekitike is adept at ghosting into secondary scoring positions or delivering cutbacks. Both are technically secure enough to rotate positions during games, keeping defenders guessing. Crucially, neither is a selfish forward. They combine well in tight areas and are comfortable linking with midfield runners. Slot, who favours high-pressing, vertical football, now has two forwards capable of leading that press from different angles. Ekitike is quick across the ground and aggressive in duels, while Isak's positioning and anticipation allow him to cut off passing lanes. Together, they can set the tone for Liverpool's defensive work from the front. The biggest casualty of this setup is likely to be Cody Gakpo. Signed from PSV as a versatile forward, Gakpo has spent much of his Liverpool career playing off the left, precisely the role now earmarked for Ekitike. While Gakpo has also featured centrally, particularly in a false nine role under Jurgen Klopp, Isak's arrival has closed that door. That doesn't mean Gakpo is consigned to the bench permanently. His intelligence and versatility remain valuable, especially in a season where Liverpool will compete on multiple fronts. Slot will rotate heavily, giving Gakpo opportunities when either Isak or Ekitike is rested. Against weaker opposition, or in domestic cups, he may even start centrally if Slot chooses to protect Isak. But in Liverpool's strongest 11, Gakpo is suddenly on the outside looking in. Slot's challenge will be to manage minutes without disrupting chemistry. Ekitike, though starting wide, can also rotate into the number 9 role, allowing Isak to rest. In those scenarios, Gakpo could reclaim the left-wing slot, keeping all three engaged. The Dutchman may also find minutes as an attacking midfielder in certain shapes. Slot experimented with box midfields at Feyenoord, and Gakpo's composure in possession could see him used off the left side of a midfield 4. Another option is tweaking the shape entirely. A 4-2-3-1 would allow Ekitike to operate as a second striker or inside left, with Gakpo potentially thriving as a number 10. However, given Slot's early commitment to the 4-3-3, the Isak-Ekitike-Salah front line looks set to be the default. It's easy to overlook Mohamed Salah in this equation, but his role remains critical. With Isak pinning defenders and Ekitike dragging markers inside, Salah should enjoy more space on the right to exploit. His inside runs will be complemented by Isak's link-up play, while Ekitike's tendency to slide-angled passes could feed Salah cutting in on his left. In many ways, the new arrivals could prolong Salah's productivity by reducing his creative burden. Liverpool's record outlay on Isak, combined with the ambitious capture of Ekitike, has given Arne Slot enviable depth and variety in attack. The likely configuration, Isak through the middle, Ekitike on the left, Salah on the right, provides balance, pressing energy, and a blend of aerial presence and guile. For Gakpo, it represents an undeniable setback, but his versatility ensures he will still play an important supporting role, particularly as Isak and Ekitike rotate across competitions. Ultimately, Liverpool's ability to blend these new dynamics will define their season. If Isak and Ekitike strike up the chemistry their profiles suggest, Liverpool could boast one of the most feared forward lines in Europe, at once powerful, fluid, and unpredictable. For Gakpo, the battle is no longer about being first choice, but about proving indispensable as part of Slot's rotation puzzle. While the most natural setup has Alexander Isak leading the line with Hugo Ekitike starting from the left, there will be moments when Arne Slot opts to use them as a direct strike partnership, in a 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 variation, particularly when Liverpool are chasing the game. The two could complement each other in ways reminiscent of classic twin striker systems. Isak would serve as the central reference point, occupying defenders with his strength, aerial ability, and hold-up play. Ekitike, slightly more mobile, could play just off him, darting into channels, running beyond the Swede, or picking up knockdowns. Their profiles are not redundant but rather complementary. Isak thrives in tight spaces with clinical finishing, while Ekitike is more opportunistic, ghosting into gaps and unsettling defenders with movement. This alignment would also free Cody Gakpo to reclaim his favoured left-wing role. With two strikers occupying defenders centrally, Gakpo could find greater space to drift inside onto his right foot, or drive directly at isolated fullbacks. His timing and composure in the final third could make him a dangerous late-game weapon, benefiting from the attention drawn by Isak and Ekitike. Combined with Salah cutting in from the right, Liverpool would boast a fearsome, fluid front four when chasing goals. Against deep-sitting opponents, the physical presence of two tall, technically adept strikers would allow Liverpool to bombard the box, while in transitions, Ekitike's pace could stretch teams alongside Isak's hold-up craft. Though unlikely to be Slot's default, the option of pairing them centrally could become a potent plan B.